I have not made one of these journals in a very long time. I feel like I made a few right after I lost my job. And then I kind of stopped. I turned some corners, started to reestablish myself in this new life as an artist. And, you know, I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't. And I think I was doing myself a disservice because I still have a lot of things to say, and saying them, telling them to other people helps me as well. So I'm not going to talk for an hour about every single thing that's happened to me over the last several months. So much has. But I was recently on a bit of a road trip with my brother-in-law, who's such a good friend to me. And I was talking about what it is like to become a new person. And I think that is a very important subject, a very interesting question, and a large part of gender transition that just doesn't seem to get spoken about. I hear people on YouTube or the internet or even in person, we always talk about our pills or our shots or our surgeries or our clothes, our names, everything but our minds. That's 90% of transition that we're ignoring. So I'm talking about this with my brother-in-law, and I'm saying to him that it's been weird for me lately as I become more and more known as Iden, and as an artist and writer, and making friends who never knew me before. And the people who did know me, it's starting to feel like, I think, that Iden has always been. Now, that's true in one sense of the word. I'm me. I've always been me. But I was not always Iden. I know that maybe that's not articulated clearly. And maybe that goes against the trans narrative. I know that it is helpful as a community to be able to present the narrative of I'm born this way. I know that that's been very helpful in the gay, lesbian, bisexual spaces as far as gaining understanding from the straight world. I don't want to go against that. And I'm not saying that I wasn't always trans, but I was not always Iden. I had a whole nother life for 40 years. And that person did a lot. She had a lot of adventures. She really did. A lot of accomplishments. And now, as I get further into transition and the people around me have gone through this journey with me as well, and that person starts to almost feel mythical. I'll have a memory and think, did I do that? And the answer is simultaneously yes and no. Did I do that? Of course I did. Of course that was me. Of course that was me on those fire trucks and in the helicopter and in those ambulances. Of course that was me going through flight school, going to college. Of course it was me who got married and had children. But at the same time, it was not. It was not Iden doing those things. And it gets to be a little bit confusing for me. I feel like what I have is a past life. I've been reincarnated, but this past life I remember very clearly, in great detail and very distinctly. What more to say about that? It's strange, uncanny feeling, because so much of my life today is different from my life a year and a half ago. I look different, I sound different, I have different friends, I have a different job, I see things in a different way, I feel things in a different way. But I have these memories, seen through my old eyes, felt with my old feelings, and filtered through my old worldview. And it doesn't feel like me anymore. But it is me. I don't know. I think that part of transition, the hardest part, is laying that old version of you to rest, letting them die, and that's what it feels like to me. When I first saw myself in the mirror, saw Iden, and I knew that from now on, that was my path. That day, Justin laid down and died. And I remember having a conversation with myself, saying goodbye to him, thanking him for all the work that they did to keep us alive and moving forward so that Iden could be born. And people don't talk about that. That's a loss. It is. Obviously, I've gained quite a bit, but I had that self to mourn. And people who are not trans, or maybe trans people who don't ever transition, I think it's important, if you want to learn about what it's like to transition, if you want to learn what it's like to become Iden, then that is something that needs to be talked about and understood. that I have had to stand over my own grave, give my own eulogy, lay those flowers down, and walk away, knowing that that person I was will never be again. It is a very uncanny, difficult set of emotions that come with that. How many people get to die while they're alive? How many people get to have two lives? It's a blessing. It is. But it doesn't come without a cost. And I've had to do a lot of work. I've had to process a lot of things. And people need to understand that.